This video is sponsored by TigerStream, and your promo code is in the description.
Before you guys watch this video, I want you to remember something. Not everything that's legal is moral, and not everything that's illegal is immoral. In other words, legality or illegality does not necessarily connotate morality. If you guys enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with everybody you know.
I'm sorry about the quality of this video. It's home security surveillance footage recorded from a person's mobile phone, but you'll be able to see enough to get an idea of what's going on. On October 13th, Tehama County Sheriff's Department Animal Control Division showed up at Heidi Erickson's house. She has 4 dogs. In the video, you can see that all 4 dogs are on Heidi's property. Parked outside Erickson's gate, a female officer appears to be coaxing the dogs that are inside the gate and on the property of the owner with something in her hand, probably food, so she can get them off the property and take them to the pound. Here, it looks like she's got one of the little dogs close enough to the fence to be able to slide something around the dog's neck, after which she pulls the dog through the fence and drags it to the county vehicle. You can actually see the little dog right here, struggling to get away as it's being dragged. So now the first dog that was pulled through the gate is being caged. This action causes the bigger dog to squeeze himself through the gate. Then a third dog makes his way through the fence. After the larger dog disappears from the camera's view behind the vehicle, we don't see him again because he was leashed and thrown into a cage in the back of the animal control vehicle along with the third dog. I'm going to speed this up here so we can maintain an unbroken sequence of events. But so far we have 3 dogs that were on the owner's private property being caged by an individual who helped herself to the private property of another person. The rest of the video shows the female officer walking back to the fence to continue coaxing the 4th and final dog. The surveillance camera cuts off, but all 4 dogs were taken off of private property, caged in the vehicle, and transported to Tehama County Animal Care Center, where the owner was charged over $700 in impound fees. No matter which way you look at it, this is clearly theft and extortion. If you and I did this, we would be rightly arrested and sent to a county jail. Now you may be wondering, what right do they think they have to commit this clearly criminal act? How do they justify this? There's a California code, 53074. Under seizure and impoundment of dogs on private property, that law, the arbitrary commands of parasitic puppet politicians who create these laws to bleed private individuals of money in order to expand and enrich the powers of the state, well, that law states, this California statute provides that animal control officers shall not seize or impound a dog on its owner's property for violation of a leash ordinance or issue citations for the violations of such ordinance when the dog has not strayed from the owner's private property. However, if the dog has strayed from the property and later returned to it, an officer may issue a citation if the owner is present or impound the dog if the owner is not present. In the latter circumstance, the officer must leave a notice of impoundment at the residence. My assumption is that the creation of such a law is meant to discourage people from having dogs run free and possibly damage private property or harm others. But the only proof that these dogs left their property is when they were coaxed by this government agent to do so. And this is one of those areas where a person with authority can very easily abuse that authority in order to generate revenues for the department. And we've seen this many times. Like when officers say, "We saw you swerving back there," which then leads to questions like this.
"Can I search your truck and trailer?"
Which then leads to something like this.
"Hey, what's all this? What's all this money? You said you didn't have any large amounts of money in the vehicle. Turn around for me, okay? Hands behind your back, you too."
This is the bottom line. If you or I were caught on camera stealing the animals of another person from their own private property, we would rightly be charged with theft and maybe even animal abuse. How is it okay when an individual wearing a costume with a badge, utility belt, and gun does the exact same thing? Any reasonable person who hasn't been hoodwinked by this myth called government authority would easily understand that this was a crime committed by one person, which in turn victimized another person to the tune of over $700. Let me just say this. Anytime money can easily be made through the creation and enforcement of laws, we would be profoundly stupid to ever trust lawmakers or law enforcers. So what happens if you don't pay the fine? Well, governments can't have that. If one person, then another person refuses to pay fines, that opens the floodgates for everyone to ignore the extortion practices of the state. And since laws fill the coffers of state functionaries and serve as the lifeblood of governments, the state, without collecting those fines, would then lose its power. Every law is backed by the threat of force. In fact, with law enforcement around, such force is monopolized. No competing force is allowed to exist in the territory governed by a police department. If you don't pay, they increase the fine. If you continue to deprive them of payment, men with guns come to your house, arrest you, and throw you in a cage. If you continue to resist, you could be shot and killed. Let's say these dogs did get out and began roaming the neighborhood, making people feel uncomfortable or damaging property or attempting to harm others. A free people can deal with such things without the intervention of government functionaries who have a monopoly on force. But the general rule of a civilized and rational people is, if there's no victim or damage, there's no crime. In this case, there was no victim, no damage, and no proof that the dogs were previously loose. If you want to contact Tehama County Animal Control and tell them what you think about this theft and extortion practice of their agents, their address is 1830 Walnut Street, Red Bluff, California 96080, and their phone number is 530-527-3439. I'll leave the link to their website in the description. And if you happen to be in the area, here's where they're located. If you stop by, ask them how their practices in this case are consistent with their oath to the Constitution of the United States. And if you want, ask them if this is consistent with serving and protecting, or is it closer to the idea of harassing and collecting? If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and share it with others. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe and notification button and you'll be alerted when I upload new videos. Today's featured shirts are Protecting and Serving the Crap Out of You, Taxation is Legalized Theft, and Critical Thinking in Progress. Please stand by. Your $5 off promo code is in a link in the description for you for every shirt in the store. And don't forget to leave your thoughts for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comment section below. I'll see you guys in the next video.